welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, in the last video series over, I was talking about the misconceptions of cancer in general basically, and I thought to basically share some other misconceptions about breast cancer. As you know, that basically at this point of time of this month of May is Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the females, obviously, even though there has been some controversy right now obviously about, you know, men's health awareness based on their prostate versus everything else that goes on and down for them for in a way of cancer and everything. And then I feel that yes, we need to basically do some more research or do some more awareness for the male side of things as well. And I understand that, you know, there has been many, you know, controversies versus, you know, just people's thought about, you know, needs to be more, you know, self-education versus, you know, just teaching about the men's general health as well. But then again, you know, as we know, breast cancer is a number one killer obviously for us females. Basically, if left undetected, you know, basically it can get worse like anything, but it pays to, as they say, see our doctors and everything basically. And as you know, I'm hoping as I'm sharing these myths and misconceptions about breast cancer in general, however, as there's so many myths and misconceptions that's been flying around basically, we'll hopefully gain a better understanding both on the male perspective as female viewers, you know, of what's going down, and hopefully that we can just at least abolish these misconceptions and know the truth about it all, as well as to educate ourselves on it. You know, when it comes to breast cancer myths and rumours, you know, around this place, basically we should as always self-educate or even self-teach ourselves about all these, you know, illnesses and more, so that we can gain a better understanding. But as you know for a fact though, before I further on to this, you know, I'm AspieAnswersAll. As I said, basically I'm all about creating mental health awareness versus just awareness maybe in general of our general health, be it, you know, as key example here that I'm addressing to you today based on breast cancer. Basically I'm all about health and awareness because, you know, as I said in one of my recent videos or even earlier videos in the piece, if you've been following right from the beginning, I'm all about, you know, hoping to educate, mentor, what have you, with you all about what I know based on my life experiences versus just, you know, how I've been about with educating myself through the training of certain, you know, topics, whatever it may be. And also though, basically, I want to be a mental advocate later on in life, even though, yes, as I said in one of my videos, it may mean I'll have to go through my training again through some politic or some private institution to do this. But in the meantime, hopefully while I'm, you know, on full screen or out in the community, if people see me, that hopefully even though like I'm sharing with you all, that something will come up, because I believe that in my hearts of hearts, what I'm sharing with you all based on my life journey with Asperger's syndrome, depression, OCD and the like, that hopefully, you know, something will come of light with the book that I've been sharing with you all based on what's been going down with that. So in all further ado, also I welcome you all with open arms of the newbies. Basically, hopefully this journey, while you're journeying with me, as well as the old ones, will be educational, motivational enough and inspiring you all. So maybe give you the heads up, basically, hopefully of support that, you know, you're not alone basically, and you can actually trust yourself to actually reach out to someone that you can, when you can, of someone you trust, no matter what it may be. And all further ado, also basically, you know, for the purpose of my videos, as I've said many times, I want to abolish certain things about the myths and misconceptions, misunderstanding about my condition of Asperger's syndrome, and bear in mind that, you know, every person on that spectrum of Asperger's syndrome will vary from, you know, time to time of their signs and symptoms versus, you know, just how they go about with their behavioural characteristics and the like. So bear with me on this. So not further ado though, basically I want to keep going on more of this right now, hopefully before I run out of time, as always, you know, and hopefully for the LBs, welcome back to you all, you know, hopefully as always it's entertaining or educational enough or motivational enough for you, and hopefully that you are actually getting to know me more as a person, because I'm all about engaging and inspiring you all, as well as just, you know, hopefully in the later piece just to be your support network as well, even though I'm hoping for this channel to be as user friendly as possible for, you know, some people that needs the support regardless what it may be, you know, because I know for a fact it's a hard journey for some of us that journeys alone sometimes, when we feel that, you know, no one's there to understand us when in matter of fact, there is a lot of people that actually suffers alone. But I want to say before I continue that for the ones that feels that they're alone, you're not alone. Obviously, don't suffer in silence when something comes up, regardless of your mental health versus whatever else it may be, so that hopefully that many people can understand you. Like, I'm reaching out right now to the wider community of the autistic community to understand me more as a person, regardless what I do. So hopefully maybe you guys can do the same. So as you know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is this month, May, or it has been and gone, May 8th. But I feel that we should be able to just educate ourselves. But if your mom had breast cancer, are you destined to get it, as well as the main question that plays around in most of our females' brains, as well as all these other questions or myths about it as I'm going on. I don't know how many there are, but as I said, there's so many myths and misconceptions. I'll go as briefly as I can with some of the misconceptions I've been researching, and right now hopefully I might answer in response to them both, But also another question that runs through our minds: does foregoing a bra decrease our risk of this kind of disease? But okay, myth number one is basically on the top list is a family history of breast cancer means you're likely to get breast cancer as well. Okay, fact is basically from the found medical director of Dr. Kirsten Fernandez, basically, of the Breast Cancer Centre at Medsta Franklin Square Medical Centre. Basically, she states that 80% of their patients has no family history. That doesn't mean to say, though, that said, a history of breast cancer, obviously, in your family should be taken seriously if a close relative developed it by the age of 50, however. Okay, another myth here is number two: if breast cancer runs on your father's side of the family, you're not at risk. Again, her quotation of what she feels about it from this, myth, well, from Fernandez. She hears this so frequently, though, and she thinks it's a lot of it's breast cancer is so scary for us females, so people try to make themselves better and safer in their own way. I feel that sometimes, no matter what side of the family it is, it still exists, in a way that it can develop, maybe earlier. But as said, there has been greater treatments and information and resources about this. Okay, myth number three: if you don't have a lump on your breast, you don't have breast cancer. Needless to say on that, there are also other possible signs that can actually cause us to be alarmed that there is a matter of fact of, having breast cancer, obviously, because obviously at the end of the day we know that certain signs and symptoms do range from different things. As I said, for these pregnancies, signs and symptoms, they sometimes collab together with these morbid symptoms. So other possible signs basically is like maybe a nipple retraction, like the changing size of the nipple versus the maybe not just the lump as such that we find, sort of thing, is basically like unusual nodules, basically, well, not nodules, but a dent in the side of the breast somewhere, as well as just inflammation. Even though we know while it is less common for this inflammatory breast cancer, it can be more aggressive and may look like an infection. So we need to bear in mind that if it does sound like that, because as we know, there's different stages to this breast cancer problem, and that we need to basically know what's going on. Okay, myth number four: wearing a bra all day can compress the lymphatic system of the breast, resulting in accumulation of cancer-causing toxins. Okay, fact is here though, American Cancer Society says this myth has originated in an email that may have been based on a faulty study done by two medical anthropologists. There are no scientifically valid studies that has shown wearing bras of any type can cause breast cancer. Okay, Fernandez, again, the person I'm introducing him on that part, says she hears the myths from patients about once a month. Said the study didn't take part into account factors such as maybe your lifestyle habits, be it obesity and the like, which is known to increase a woman's risk of breast cancer, apparently. Myth number five, I think I'm up to, is young women don't get breast cancer. a matter of fact, it does happen to us young females that are highly sexually active and whatnot, but it does happen, but not very often. Another doctor, Dr. Susan Love, research and from research, Dr. Love's Research Foundation has said that it's less likely than 5% of breast cancers occur in a woman under the age of 40. But then again, basically, Dr. Fernanda's argument here is she said that 1 in 223 women between the ages of 30 and 39 will be diagnosed with breast cancer. But then again, as we know, it can happen earlier. As I said in one of the pieces, that one of my friends obviously died earlier, and she was about my age or just a year younger than me. Doctors will still generally recommend women begin getting mammograms at age 40. Okay, here in New Zealand, as we know, basically, I think it's 45, 50, but as I want to argue, but as I said to one of the people that I said at the expo, I went to the expo, basically, don't you think it should at least be lowered down? But she reckons that if you can afford a private, consultation with the doctor or nurse, if you're younger and concerned about your medical history of breast cancer and the like, that, need to do it that way. But then again, as you know, like everything comes at a cost, obviously. Doctors still generally recommend women start getting mammograms, but it depends on the patient's family history, obviously. If your mom had breast cancer at 44 or 45, we would start testing in your early 30s, is what Fernandez recommends. If you have a mother, daughter, or sister who developed breast cancer by the age of 50, the National Breast Cancer Foundation recommends considering some kind of diagnostic breast imaging beginning about 10 years before the age of your relative's diagnosis, however. Myth number 6 or 7 is, once you reach a certain age, mammograms aren't necessary. Okay, Fernandez's response to this, Dr. Fernandez say, people say I'm 70, but I don't have to get mammograms. But then she tells the patients of hers that as long as you stay healthy, by keep getting the mammograms, because it's obviously important and crucial, like anything else, self checks versus, blood tests and all these other things, just to keep us healthy and whatnot. Another one for these myths and whatnot that I want to cover of the breast cancer myths basically right now is for myth number 7. I think I'm up to, or I'm misplacing my numbers, but I'll write all these myths down later on. Is, if breast cancer runs in your family, you're likely to get it too, similar to what I said in the beginning. But the fact and reality of this is, breast cancer is not a certainty for each and one of us. As said, even if we have one of the risk factors, like a strong family history or a known breast cancer gene abnormality. For example here, most of the women with BRCA1 or BRCA2 inherit genetic abnormality up to at least between 40-80% will develop the breast cancer. 20 to 60% may not, however. Another myth there is only your mother's family history of breast cancer can affect your risk. Again, a family history of breast cancer in your mother's or father's family does actually equally influence the risk of breast cancer. That's because half of your genes, as we know, comes from our mother and the other half comes from our father. But a man with breast cancer gene abnormally is less likely to develop breast cancer than a woman with a similar gene, however. So if you want to learn more about your father's family history, you have to look mainly at the woman on your father's side, not just the men, however. As we know, basically, the woman is the one that strongly has it. Another one is for the myth here is basically breast cancer can skip generations. I've researched this up and I've heard it many times before about this, but the real fact and reality of it is genes that could increase the risk of breast cancer can go from one generation to the next without skipping a generation. If your mother or father had breast cancer gene abnormality, you may have a high percentage of a 50% risk of getting that gene, as well as a 50% chance of not getting it at all. If you don't get that gene, then you can't pass it on to your children. Who knew? Another myth here is, since I have no family history of breast cancer, I can't get it. Fact of that reality is, Breast cancer is extremely rare in girls, while adult women have some risks involved entailed with this, however. About 80% have no known family history of breast cancer, while growing older is the best single risk factor. For those women who have a family history of breast cancer, however, your risk will likely to be elevated a little bit, a lot, or not at all. If you are concerned, as I said, discuss it with about your family history with your doctor and everything else, so that you can seek the right medical treatment like anything else in life. Another myth is there is nothing you can do to reduce the risk of getting breast cancer. Fact: to reduce the risk of breast cancer, obviously, like any other, illness or disease, whatever you want to call this, is basically there are ways to actually stop it from happening, what have you. Which is basically my tips and advice there would be on that is keeping to a healthy diet, exercise 3 to 4 hours a week, obviously as a recommendation. Don't never to smoke, or limit the alcohol use to 5 or fewer drinks per year if you do drink, and eat 5 to 9 fruits and vegetables a day. Also limit your consumption of red meat, fried foods and black and grilled foods, but do buy organic and hormone free foods whenever possible, if you can afford it, that is, because obviously certain dietary plans that they put in place for certain health problems do come into play with it, as I've mentioned about the superfoods. If you've been following from there, follow it on there. Another myth is mammograms can help prevent breast cancer. The fact is, mammograms can save lives, but they don't prevent breast cancer, however, and sadly. They can help by detecting breast cancer in its earliest stages when it's most treatable, thereby improving your chance of surviving breast cancer can be by 30% or more while having those mammograms. That's why they always have said to have these mammograms in place and have them in check. Big breasts have a high risk of breast cancer. Breast size has no significant impact on the risk of developing breast cancer. It can happen to any woman at any age, as I said, and it can happen to any woman with different sized breasts and whatever it may be. Another myth has been heard about is breast cancer can be transmitted from mother to child during their pregnancy through the breast milk. Fact is, absolutely not. Breast cancer is not transmitted during pregnancy or not breast milk. It's from the anomaly of the genes versus the environmental factor versus everything else that comes into play, as I said. Another myth is here that many people may have heard is cell phones, antiperspirants and tanning may cause breast cancer. But the fact of reality on that one is there has been no substantial evidence or evidence at all about these factors that would likely to increase this factor of breast cancer. Tanning in the sun or in salons does increase the risk of skin cancer, however, but not breast cancer. So it's so important to use sunscreen, limit the time in the sun and avoid tanning salons if necessary to reduce your risk of skin cancer. Myth number whatever I'm up to. Another one is breast cancer is like a death sentence. Are you for real? Fact is, no. Most women survive breast cancer and can live longer lives. Every woman who are living with breast cancer can live a longer time period, provided, like I said, changing their lifestyle habits and whatnot, like anything else in our life. Plus, new promising treatment breakthroughs are becoming available each day, so there are many reasons to be hopeful about the future that is to come. So basically that ends the last series of the misconceptions of basically breast cancer, the facts versus it, demolishing it. Hopefully you guys will give me the thumbs up for support, showing that you're engaging. Basically, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and also share my videos to family and friends that you feel some of these topics that I'm sharing with you all will be of valid use to others around you as an education, motivational tool, whatever it may be. So in all further ado, guys, love what you do what love one another, love yourself, and take care of yourself. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support so far, and I'll see you all again soon.